Good afternoon. You're watching LNA Now with Barry and Jenny. I am Jenny Nagel.
And I am Barry Eichner. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to 2025 and our kickoff webisode of LNA Now with Barry and Jenny. And it's my favorite topic in all of us medical aesthetics land, how to be profitable and how to make money. Because we can talk about the best devices and we can talk about the most amazing in-treatment products and the most amazing home care. But unless you have a blueprint to be profitable and make money, there's no reason to get out of bed in the morning. So we are so excited. Jenny, give us a little bit of a rundown of who we've got on deck today.
I am so excited to reintroduce some of you or welcome you guys to meet Sarah with ID Skin. And last year, if you guys recall, we did a webisode with Sarah on gua sha that you guys went crazy for. So if you haven't seen that, you can definitely access it on the LNA mobile app. But Sarah is back with us today. And Sarah, I want to give you the floor. Introduce yourself. Tell us what your role is with ID Skin and what you're going to chat about today.
Okay, great. Hi, guys. My name is Sarah DiMaria. I am the ID Skin brand manager. I am also the in-house esthetician. So my role here is I do everything from creating educational content to taking some of your questions. If you guys have a question about a product, sometimes when you call in, you could just get me. And I also assist with anything inside of here that we do. And so we kind of do a jumble of things here, I do. But anyways, so what we're going to be talking about today is a beauty business blueprint. So part of getting into this industry is, yes, we get into it because one, we love what we do and we love the stuff that we do. But we're in it to make money. Let's be real. It's not just about let's have the feels here. It's about having a career and a job. And that is what you're there to do, is to make money. But how do you make this money? So the question that you first have for yourself is, what kind of pipelines, financial pipelines, do I have for myself? Your first pipeline are your clients that come and have services. That's your very first pipeline that you're going to have. Your second pipeline is going to be your tips, because tips are not included. Those are extra. So that's a secondary pipeline. And your third is your retail. And retail is one of the easiest pipelines to have because usually it can sell itself. But the question is, how do I get into retailing? How do I get into selling? And some people, they maybe don't know how to start or where to start from. So we're going to go a little bit into buyer personas. Who are our people that we're selling to? And who are we marketing to? And maybe how that demographic likes to be marketed to. And then we'll talk about retail and selling, like displaying, and sometimes it's the verbiage of how you say it. It's not about, I'd like you to buy this item here.
Because then
This
you
is,
feel like you're selling.
yes, this is what I'm recommending for you, so it has to be like a specific way that you say things so that you don't offer, it's not a question, it's a statement.
Yep.
So then the third thing that we'll go over is cost per service. Now, the cost per service breakdown that's going to be shared on the screen is a very small portion. I just took one page of the retail and one page of the back bar of matching items. And there is, in the download, there is more of that shows all of the products so that you can see what the cost per service. It's broken down by the product, the size, how much it costs, and how much it costs per use, and how many uses are in each item. So we'll go through all of those, and I'll go through the slides so that we can touch on what is in there. We have an esthetician's sales playbook that we will have for a download on our website. For everyone that attends this webinar, they will have access to a 30-page download of this about 160 something page book. So you will get a little sneak peek of what everybody is going to have. So I will start sharing my screen now so that you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing.
So I just wanted to recap because there was a lot to unpack there, Sarah. First, I also want to thank you so much for joining us today. I know you like you didn't brag about yourself nearly enough, so I'm going to do that now. Because I really want people to know that you're not just a brand manager at ID Skin and that's why they should listen to you. First of all, you're an esthetician for more years than you're going to want to admit, because that just tells people your age, and that's not fair.
Or is
let's
it?
just
Because it would say the skincare is good.
Thank you. Okay, point taken. But you were also an aesthetics educator for many years.
16 years.
So you started when you were like, what, 12?
12. I was
Thank
12.
you.
I was
All
12.
right. So licensed esthetician for a certain number of years, educator for a certain number of years. Now you're running a brand. So you have a little bit of an experience and background in this. So you created a 160-page book.
I think it's 64, but yeah.
164-page book on how estheticians can run their business. And if anyone becomes a customer of ID Skin, they get that book for free. But then anybody who's here or registered for this will get a 30-page sort of synopsis of that book.
Correct. So you get some of the slides that are in here, and then also the accompanying ones that like filled in the in-betweens there. And then there's other parts of the books that you will not have as that 30-page download. It would be in the full book. And for anyone that's going to be at any trade shows or anything that are in the state of Florida, we will be able to have some on site for you to look through in case, you're wondering and you want to see it before you do any of the downloading or whatever. We're going to have it available so that you can see that too.
And then Sarah, also, I'm going to take this to go off topic for a second. I want to put this bug in your ear. I would really love to talk with you about writing some sort of like editorial article for us on a regular basis about this sort of business plan that you have, and then maybe give people links to where they can get it in those articles, because we really do want to make sure that we're giving the LNA community a really rich and varied editorial opportunity to read. So we've got 3 doctors now who are writing on topics from IV to supplements to injectables to peels to laser. And then we're bringing in high-level educators such as yourself to write articles on business, on devices, on products. So I'd love to extend that invitation to you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Started. And Sarah, we'll pop off the screen, but if something comes up that's a great question that we think everyone would benefit from, we're going to chime in. I don't want you to feel like you have to manage the chat or the Q&A, but I am asking the audience, if you guys do have a question, just pop it into the Q&A for us so that we can ensure that it gets answered.
Perfect. Okay, so we are going to start the beauty business blueprint. So your ideal clientele, what is that? They're people who align with your services and your expertise. So remember that is usually based off of the services that you offer. So if I'm offering only waxing and lash services, which is just fine, there's nothing wrong with that, that would probably mean my demographic of clientele is probably younger of a demographic. If I had someone that was their main thing that they're wanting to have all the time is chemical peels and dermaplaning and microneedling, I will probably have a older demographic, maybe more mature skin. So I need to make sure that I know what my ideal base of client that I am servicing. It all comes down to, what do I offer as a service? What is the culture that I have created in my place? And what type of clients am I trying to attract? So the ideal client profile outlines characteristics of clients that are likely to benefit from their services. So when you go into looking for an ideal client that maybe is in their 30s to 50s, they're going to seek anti-aging treatments. If you have someone that's younger, maybe it's acne. Your clientele is more than likely going to be younger just because of biologics. Doesn't mean that you can't have them when you're older, but it's just not as common. So now, our buyer personas, we have skincare minimalists. Those are ages 25 to 45. They, their needs are, they're just simple and effective routines. They want something fast, but also minimalist. And that includes in makeup and everything too. I don't know if you guys have noticed this either, but like the younger generation that is in this demographic of 25 to 45, I shouldn't say younger, I am in that demographic, but it is the makeup that is worn is more minimalistic, a little more lush, not lush, hydrated and dewy looking. So, but if you go into an older demographic, they're going to be like, absolutely not. I want full coverage. So now I have the glow getters that could be ages 18 to 35. Those are the enthusiasts or social media users. So, like, keep in mind, these people might be in some of the same age demographics, but they're not the same people. What they're looking for is not the same. So, my glow person, they look for dewy stuff. My skincare minimalist, they look for 1, 2 steps. So if I can put like a cleanser and an exfoliant in one and take a step out, they are here for it. But what if I have my self-care devotee? They do not want minimalists. They want luxurious products, treatments. They want to enhance it. They want to have a pampering ritual experience. That is what they are looking for. And when you start to think about the products that you're going to carry, you need to think about this too. How did they smell? How do they feel? Do they feel luxurious? Do they feel like that client is going to feel like this is for them? Or is it maybe not that way? So what if I have someone who's an ingredient enthusiast, just to throw this in there for just a second. If I have someone who's really into ingredients, when I'm selling to them, I need to talk about the ingredients. I need to know what I'm talking about. So another thing that we have on the ID Skin Pro website is when you are a member or a partner with us, you have access to all kinds of educational information that we give. Our sell sheets, they break down the heavy hitters of what the ingredients in the products that are the superstar ingredients to highlight. You really would just have to look at those sheets, know a few little things about each one, because that's the way you're going to sell it. You're going to be able to say to them, hey, it has such and such in here, which is what you were looking for to handle this particular issue that you're having with your skin. Know your products, know what's in them so that you can say that. What if I have someone who's the problem solver and they want targeted solutions to their skincare? Think of people who have eczema, acne, stuff like that. They're not coming in for the fluff and buff. That's not what they're here for. They're here for a targeted treatment. It doesn't mean that they can't have a relaxing experience. That's wonderful, but be real about what they're there for. So knowing your buyer persona and what they're looking for and what their needs are and their concerns. So like that person, they're looking for things that are very much long-term improvement plan, not I'm looking to just quick fix it. Someone that has acne, it's not a quick fix. We know that. All of us in this webinar know that acne is not just a quick fix, right? So the problem solver, they really want you to hear them. And I know that most of us, even if none of us are talking or anything besides me, most of us have been in a situation where you went somewhere and talked about your concerns and the person completely ignored it and went on with what they thought was most important. Now, it doesn't mean that what they thought was important was not. It just means that the client never felt heard. They didn't feel like you listened to them. So when you know your buyers, if what drives them is this problem solver, then you need to hit that home. We're using this because of X, Y, and Z that you were saying you had a problem with. You want to tell them that. If I have an eco-conscious shopper, they really do care about the environmental impact and the product transparency. Could you imagine if on the outside of a bottle they put a little insignia that said, tested on animals? People would not buy it. But if you see something that says, it's cruelty free, all of these things, that matters, right? So sometimes your eco-conscious shopper, price has nothing to do with it at all. Like zero to do with it. They do not care. What they want is sustainable packaging, cruelty-free, eco-friendly products. Maybe it's because the ingredients are harvested in a particular manner or the way that the people who are harvesting them are treated as a whole. So that does matter to people. Your anti-aging advocate, they are looking for anti-aging prevention. And I know that everybody needs a cleanser. They need a moisturizer. They need serums. They need this and that. But when I'm sending something home with someone who's an anti-aging advocate, it needs to be something that is a results-driven product. Like, you use that product and it gives you results. For example, I have a client who was, she had a lot of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation on her face. She usually gets chemical peels, but had taken a little bit of a break from them. And she asked, what can I use to kind of just get this hyperpigmentation under control a little bit before my next visit? So I recommended the Retexturing Hero pads, the exfoliation pads, and the Clarity Brightening Serum that we have that has kojic acid and it has peony inside of it, which is like a double whammy for brightening. So that is what she is recommended because that is her specific concern and it's strictly anti-aging driven. She is also aware that that is a little bit spicy on the skin sometimes. So she is aware of that, but that anti-aging advocate, they don't care. They know that. And sometimes they feel like that needs to happen for them to value the product. Now you have a value seeker. These are your people that they're budget conscious. Just because someone is budget conscious, remember this, guys, this is very important. Just because someone's budget conscious does not mean that they're cheap at all. We have no idea what they have going on in their life. We have no idea what their financial situation is. And maybe when they came to see you, that is literally all they have money for is your service and your tip. Even if that is it, they're not cheap. Don't look at them like that because sometimes people just don't have it in the budget and that's okay. What matters is that they feel comfortable enough to come back to you, even though they don't buy anything from you because they didn't feel that pressured to where it was a negative experience. You have to remember when they walk in with you, every single step that they take is part of the experience from the time that they sit in a waiting room to walking down the hall to your treatment room to getting on the table, experiencing the treatment, and then leaving and going through the checkout experience. All of that is an experience for them. And if any part of it is negative, it makes them not want to come back. So we always want to make sure that it's a positive experience for them. All right, so your retail displays. Retail displays are a super vital tool for estheticians, okay? So when people cannot see what you're selling, it's not out there for them to look at, they probably won't even ask about it. Occasionally you'll have someone that will, but you're almost shooting yourself in the foot before you've even gotten out of the gate. Everything should be displayed. Now, what if you ordered 10 of this one cleanser and 10 serums of this other one and 10 moisturizers? Do I need all 10 of those on the shelf? No, I don't. I need a couple, maybe 3, maybe 4 of each. But here's another thing for you to know. That retail display matters what it looks like. So if your shelving is glass and you haven't sold anything in that area in a little bit, there should not be dust on top of your products, on top of the glass where they can move the product and see that that product has not moved in a long time. That tells them that nobody wants this product. It doesn't mean it's a bad product. It just means that maybe it wasn't pushed as hard or something like that. And that person might think that these products are not that good. That's not the case. We all know that. We've had that in our places where there's maybe 3 products that only get sold to maybe your acne clients, and the majority of your clients are mature anti-aging clients. So the way it looks on the shelf matters. And I know it sounds really cheesy and stupid to say it, but like you have to have the labels facing forward. I know I shouldn't have to say it, but you do. That matters. Even the ones that are behind the first one, it matters. And I know that sounds tedious, but if you go into a high-end spa, salon, anything like that, you will not find things where the labels are facing sideways. I promise you that. They are all facing forward. That is someone's whole job to do that. So that actually matters. Take a little bit of what some of the other places do, higher end places, so that you can see what kind of practices do they have.
Sarah, I have a question. Do you, and we don't have to go into too much detail, but in stepping back and looking at retail displays, sometimes you'll see an entire section of one brand. Sometimes you'll see it organized by skincare concern. Sometimes, there's different ways to organize.
Yes.
You find when, kind of looking at these buyer personas that one approach is more successful. Because I heard you mention not to have like 10 deep on
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe just have
Unless you have that, like, let's say you had 5 people working, 5 estheticians, then maybe you would have the 10.
You
But
need
let's
that,
say
right?
you're by yourself in a salon suite, right? So here is how my brain works, and this is how a lot of people's brains work. If you have systems that have colors, so like ours are color coded. The acne line is purple. The wellness line is teal. The anti-aging line is pink. So for us, we color code the whole thing so that they don't have to wonder what it's
Okay.
for. Now,
Right.
there might be other brands where they don't have that. And people can do it however they want, but when you step back and look at it, the most important thing is, does it make sense when you look at it? Or do you step back and go, that looks kind of weird? If it does, it looks weird to them. And be
Mhm.
honest with yourself. It's okay. Your first go around, you might not have organized it the best. That's okay. You just go back to it and go, you know what? Maybe this should go over here.
Okay. Because I think about it in like the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Like they categorize it, and I think that that's how my mind is trained to really shop. So I was
Yes,
just
and you
comparing
could do
that.
that. And I do know people that do that. And they put, like, let's say they have 5 shelves, right? They will put the most expensive items at eye level. Now, if that works in your organizational display, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But it is somewhat of like, that's right in their line of vision.
Hmm.
So just because people think that, like, the top shelf, they start with everything from the top shelf, blah, 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 blah. You have to also think about your demographic and your buyers, your buying personas. Don't forget that they also probably have a primary gender,
Yeah.
more than likely. You more than likely will have more women than you will have male clients. So if your top shelf is past where the top of your hand is, your clients can't see it. If you can't see it, they can't see it. I only know that because I'm 5'1", so I am the short person that
Same.
can't see anything. So
Thank you for your input. No, I love it. I think it's a lot. It's all of the things to take into consideration when
yes.
building this. So thank you for your input.
Yes. So guys, like, one of the things that you need to know is it's all about the small details too. It's the small things. It's not that you went out and bought a table that was $3,000. That's not necessarily what's going to catch them. Sometimes it's the small things, like how your retail was displayed. It could be that, in these best practices that I have here for examples, you can highlight your skincare identity and your professional brand. So with our brand and with our partners, we work in conjunction with them to help them to make sure that they are branding the way that they should. And we have tons of collateral that we email to our partners all the time for them to be able to display our brand's marketing and stuff like that. And that does not cost the partners anything. Um, because for us, we don't really believe in gatekeeping this information. If you're our partner, we mean partner for real. Like, we are a partner. We're holding hands. We're partners. So if you need help, we are here to help you. So part of that could be showcasing key product benefits on our sell sheets. We already have done that for you. So you can already have that collateral so that you can go ahead and take and run with it. You can group the products by regimen. Maybe you promote best sellers. It could be that you have a possible, there's lip products because it's February and you're going to do a product promotion. So now you're going to promote these lip products for the month of February. That's great too. Incorporate professional imagery. I like when I go on people's feeds and stuff like that, and I see real results that they did on skin instead of a stock photo. But I will tell you this, if it doesn't look like a professional photo that was taken, sometimes professional imagery is needed. But realize that you could hire someone that could come to your place and do a photo shoot in one day in your place. You could change clothes, you could have different people on the table, that you could have a mass amount of content from one person that you can go ahead and do what you need to do with it. Just remember that, like, part of selling is the show of it. It's everything that they can see. It's the collateral that they have. It's how professional it looks. So you can have testing stations if you have a place that's big enough. Sometimes there's people that have a smaller waiting room that they cannot have a tester station, and that's fine. But you can also let people test stuff in your treatment room if you would like as well. Let's say that they wanted to try the lip plumper and they weren't quite sure if they wanted to buy it. They could try it. And then when they're leaving and they look at it, they might love it and say, you know what, I'm going to buy this because I tried this. That was great. So there's little things that you could do to set yourself apart when it comes to retailing. Be different than the average person. The average person does the basic. The people that go above and beyond, you don't even have to be that much of an overachiever, to be honest. The people that go above and beyond, they typically make things happen. And they typically have very, very good success and feedback because they're constantly trying to be better. So now, selling after the treatment. So part of when they first walk in the door and you look at their intake form and you're going to walk them back to your treatment room, you're already deducting their skin. If you can see it, maybe they have makeup on, but if you can see it. Once they get on the table, you're touching, you're looking, you're feeling the skin. So now you already know what you're going to be recommending to sell after the treatment, right? So all of that knowledge as you were in that treatment and you use these things on her, what if she said, that smelled wonderful? And it was the Purity Cleanser because it smells like apples. And she says, oh, I love the smell of that. When you are done with the service and you walk her to the front, you should be saying to her, this is what I'm recommending for you. It is the cleanser that smelled like apples that you loved. And she'll go, oh, yes, I totally forgot. Yeah, I want to get that. But what if I just said, I'm recommending this cleanser for you? And I never connected the memory that she had to it because smell is a very important sense that people allow memory to, it almost like connects, right? Like, so smell and memory. And so for a lot of people, that matters to them, what things smell like. And if they tell you something smells good, that's an indicator to you to remember this is what they liked about this product. It could be that it has a million really good ingredients that are far better than the scent in any of that product. But if that's what they like, why not just say it back to them? They already said it to you. You could say it back to them. There's nothing wrong with that. So by being consistent too with promoting products, you will sell retail. The biggest thing that people have an issue with is when they go to sell the product and they say, this is what I'm recommending for you. And that person goes, no, thanks. That is okay. Not everybody's going to buy. But the more that you keep doing it, the more practice you will be, the easier it will flow. This is not a negative thing if they say, no, thanks, I don't want any today. That's okay. You already started the messaging. So next time you can take them.
Sarah, can I hop in here real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. You are on probably my number one favorite topic to talk about when it comes to retail. I was the VP of a chain of medical spas for a very long time, and I had like at one point I think we had like 12 or 13 full-time estheticians working in four locations with multiple treatment rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And we did extraordinarily well with our retail because we used a skin analysis device for
Mm-hmm.
every patient when they came in. So the patient could see their skin issues, and very um, we could talk in a very objective way about what was going
Mm-hmm.
on with their skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had an esthetician who had a very high return request percentage, meaning that all of her appointments were people who had been with her and requested to come in and see her again. So I knew her treatments were very good. And I'm telling you, that our facial services were probably somewhere in the area of bare minimum of $150.
Mm-hmm.
But no one, like very few people spent that. They were usually upwards of $300 to $400. We're talking LED peels. We're talking microdermabrasion, combination treatments.
Yeah.
And the one thing with this one esthetician is she just wasn't selling. And it was getting to the point where we were seriously losing a large amount of money because she was doing so many appointments and just not selling. And other estheticians who were performing at that same level were selling thousands of dollars a day.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I sat her down and I said, make me a list of everything that you're using at home.
Mm-hmm.
And she made a list of like $500 or $600, maybe $700 worth of products. She was using all the goodies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, now I would like them, keep in mind, this was 2006. So this was pre Instagram. This was pre Amazon at its height.
Yeah.
So the way that people learned about skincare was usually through television and literal magazines.
Yes.
So I said, I want you to go down to CVS and I want you to pick up an InStyle and open to their beauty section and go to their editor's top 10 picks and pick something out of there. And then I want you to watch TV tonight, and whatever moisturizer you see advertised, I want you to buy. And she looked at me as though I had two heads, horrified. Why would I do that? And I said, because that's what you're allowing your clients to do. See, you think that they are spending $300 on a treatment, and you think that you're asking too much of them by adding on retail. But if they're spending $300, they're coming to you because they want better skin. You won't even use on your skin what you're forcing them to choose.
Yes.
And in that moment, she realized that selling retail as an esthetician was no longer something that she saw as an obligation or as pushy. She literally saw it as, I want to save their skin.
It's like having a best friend that does the work while you're not there. So you see them one time a month. They have 60 times they're supposed to touch their face in a month. So morning and night, right? So if they're not doing a take-home retail, if they're buying stuff that's from like Walgreens, whatever, then you're working harder. Your results are not as good because of it.
And so when it comes to selling product after the treatment, like it's not about you getting at more out of the client. It's not about the esthetician, really taking advantage of her customer.
No.
It's about the esthetician saying, listen, like I did this, but if you want your skin to be better, like you have to use these products. I use these. You like every time you come in here, you say, oh my God, Barry, I love your skin. It's the best skin. I want your skin. This is what you need. So anyway, I'll shut up. You keep going, but this is my job. That was me jumping up in my bandwagon.
Okay, so when you're selling retail, your messaging matters, right? So you want to be consistent. You want to have urgency without pressure. Like when someone says, oh, I really want to get this, but I'm unsure. You don't have to say, well, take it or leave it, lady. Obviously not. We're not going to say that. What you could say is, oh, I love that so much. And it has been selling like crazy. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say anything else. To them, that created urgency without pressure. So don't make them feel like they have to buy something or you're offended if they don't. Sometimes it's just about creating an urgency where it doesn't feel like it's pushy. Also, be consistent with the branding. Use the associated branding that we have of professionalism and trust. So our brand has that great reputation. Utilize it. Use it. This brand that I'm recommending to you, they only sell to licensed professionals. This is never sold on Walmart.com or Amazon or any of those other places because that is our promise to our partners. So sometimes that matters when you are saying that to people, that this isn't just something that you could buy on Amazon. This is special. So to them, that's what it feels like. And using positive verbiage, not like, do you want to buy this product? This is what I'm recommending for you. It's not a question, it's a statement. And it could be that if I have like 6 or 7 products of everything that I used on her and I put it all on the counter and I say, this is what I'm recommending for you. She's going to look at those 7 products and feel like a little bit of a panic because she might have been okay buying 1 or 2, but now she feels pressured to buy 7. You can follow that up with saying, if I had to say the most important product or products in this lineup that are the necessity, I'm going to pick out maybe 2 or 3 and say, these ones are the absolute. And sometimes that makes them feel a little more comfortable. Like, okay, so I don't have to buy all of this. I could just buy these and then I can add those next time. And that's okay. It's nice. You can also use your intake forms as, what did they say their concern was? So what if they say like their concern is hyperpigmentation? Recommend them some vitamin C's to take home. That's part of the whole thing. So like we have a bright skin collection where the whole entire collection is meant to target hyperpigmentation. That would be exactly where I would be going with that person, because I would want them to know that these products are specific for the problem that you said that you had. Okay. So now what about the benefits? So like the benefits could be what I already said before. We only sell to licensed professionals. We have professional grade products and medical grade products that we sell here. So you can say that about what we are as a company for them to understand that this is not just some run of the mill skincare line that you can buy at Walmart or Target. It will generate, obviously, more revenue for yourself. It meets the demand of a results-oriented skincare. I don't want to sell skincare just to sell skincare. I want results. I want them to see results. We are a absolute nation of instant gratification. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's who we are. We like things and we want it right now when we want it, and we want the results to be immediately, even though the damage that we made to our skin did not happen in one visit. It happened over probably 20, 30 years. So it takes a little bit to take care of these problems. You have to be honest with them, tell them that. But if they understand that it will take some time, but if they stay consistent, it will work. When somebody says to you, "Oh, I don't know if it works or not," your first question to them is, "How long did you use it?" If she says, "Oh, a couple days," it was twice. It was twice, and she thought it was gonna be some miracle thing that was gonna just change everything. That's not the real world. Be real with your people. Real deal it with them. Tell them this will take a few weeks, but we have results-oriented skincare that is specific for what your concern is, and we are gonna be a team, and we're gonna work on this together. When she comes back to you, your work is a lot less because she's been using good products ever since. So you're helping each other in that sense. And you want to reinforce your role as the educator, the knowledgeable one. Every single one of us in the field are educators of our clients. You don't have to educate other people in the field if you don't want to, but your clients, it is your job to educate them. That is why they come to you, or else they could just wash their own face. They could just buy the products and do it all themselves and not know anything. It is up to us to educate them. I'm using this because it has this in it. Your concern was hyperpigmentation. This is why I'm using this serum. This is why I recommended this serum for you. It's about talking to them. And I don't mean you have to talk through the whole service. You don't. But there are times where you are going to talk to them and you are going to educate them. And you know what? It's important that they understand that you know your stuff. You went to school, you were educated, you hold a license. It matters. It matters. And they should understand that they came to you as the expert. So it is part of your job to educate them and tell them what is recommended and what's not. All right, so your stocking levels, it all depends on how big the place is. Like we said before, it could be you are a single person working in a salon suite, or you have 5 people that work in a place. That could change how much is on the shelves. But you want to always maximize the client's experience and maximize your opportunities to do business. Okay. So when I want to sell something to a client, the worst thing is when you've talked up a product in the treatment room and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this product's so great. It's amazing. Your skin looks great. Look at your skin. It looks so great." And then you get out to go sell it to them and it's out. It's gone. And you're just standing there. So part of our jobs as professional is know what you have available. You should know your stocking levels. Even if you work for someone else, you should look through that waiting room before you even go back so that you know what's on those shelves that you can recommend at that time. If it is not available, you always have the opportunity to have it sent to them, order it, and tell them when it comes in. You have opportunities for that, but you don't want to let the sale walk out the door. And if you don't have the product on hand, they're probably going to walk out the door and go buy something else because they want their skin to stay that way. Okay, so starter quantities. So if I have a top seller, you could have 10 to 15 units in stock. It doesn't mean they have to be on your shelf though. Moderate demand would be 5 to 8 units. And this is if I was a single person working by myself. Or a trial or seasonal products, I might only do 2 to 5. So let's say I might be thinking about carrying a new serum, but I don't want to buy 10. I want to see how it sells first. I might buy 3. And then I'll see how fast it sells. And that tells me if it sold fast, then I need to, is it in the moderate category or is it in the top seller category? But what if it didn't sell? At that point, I might make it a discounted product and the sell it, and that's it. Then I won't carry it ever again. But you do have to switch up your retail sometimes for your clients, especially your clients that have been with you a long time. Sometimes they want a little something different. Throw in an extra serum in there that you haven't carried, even if it's seasonal, even if it's just a seasonal thing that you're going to carry. It at least allows your clients to have a little bit more to play with. So for example, I might start with antioxy units of 10 units because that serum sells like crazy. My moisture mask, I might only start with 5 units because I will use mask, but the client, people like to buy it, but not a lot of people like to buy it. So I probably would not have that many. 5 would be probably pushing it. So repair gel, I would have maybe 8 units because it is a pretty big seller. Maybe not as much as that serum though, if that makes sense. So now we're going to talk cost per service. This is my favorite. So if you have paper, pen, or a calculator handy, you can go ahead and start doing these things to see it. Now, for those of you that will be getting the download, you will be getting this and the charts and all of that so that you could kind of do your own to figure this out. So cost per service, the real question that you should ask yourself is, when I make my service menu, how do I know how much these services should cost? Did I just make it up? Did I price out all my stuff together? Did I do a radius in my area, maybe a 2-mile or a 5-mile radius to see what my competition was charging so I could make sure I'm in the right price range? So there's a lot of things that you have to look into when it comes to your cost per service. But the very first thing is, how much does it cost you in the products that you have to do one service? So you have your products, which would be your cleansers, exfoliants, toners, masks, and so on. You have your disposables, gloves, 2x2s, 4x4s, those type of things that you're going to use one time and toss them. That's it. Then you have your other things that you need, like your EPA registered disinfectant of whether it's barbicide, marvicide, cavicide, whatever you choose to use. That little capful that you put in your sanitizing tray costs you money every day. Every day it costs you money. So even though it seems very minimal, it still costs your business money to have it. That all should be added into these costs so that you are aware how much this is actually costing you. Now, this is just an example. This is not actual real prices of things because there are some things on there that are a generic price. I break it down in the other ones of what it really is. So let's say I have a pre-cleanser. It could be a 4-ounce. The serving size is about 1/4 of a teaspoon. There's about 92 uses inside of that. It's $20 for the bottle, which makes it 21 cents. And you're probably like, how did you get that? It is very simple. Whatever the product costs, I divide it by the number of uses. And that tells me how much it costs per use. But when we get to cleansers, remember this. When I get to cleansers and it says maybe it's 19 cents per use, that is for one cleanse. So if you're doing a double cleanse, you're going to have to times that by 2 so that you make sure that you have that listed so that you understand. So you find your associated products, you find the measurement, you divide the cost of the product by the number of the uses, double it if you need to use it twice. And your cost per service should be no more than 10% of the cost of your service. If it is more than that, you are losing money. So what I mean by that is, if you're adding up all the things that it took you to do this service, and this would be all your products plus your gloves, 2x2s, 4x4s, anything you're going to use in the service, and it adds up to $6.50. If I charge $55 for a facial, I'm definitely losing money if I'm charging 55, but I'm losing money because I am definitely not where I should be. Okay. So if I want, it would have to be at minimum $65 at minimum, because that $6.50 tells me my base price. That's it. That's 10%. So if I have a service that costs me $7.92, my service at minimum should be $80 so that I at least have that 10% that is meant for the cost of the service, and the rest is the profit. And keep in mind this too, it's not just what it costs your product. Your time is money and your time is valuable. I don't care if you just got out of school and you're a new professional, irrelevant. Your time is worth money. And if the people in your radius that are the same as you, your services should be round about the same price. So let's say that you do your math and yours comes out at, I don't know, let's just say $7.50. Really, your minimum base price should be $75 for that service. However, what if I wanted to charge 85? I could. I'm not losing money. I made sure that my 10%, I covered that. And if I want to go above that, I can. There's no rule or law saying you can't. And also, your price of your service also matters with things like location and, where are you? Are you on Fifth Avenue in Naples, Florida, or are you in the middle of, I don't know, the plains in the middle of the state where or the middle of the country where maybe there's not big cities around and it's just small little towns? You would have a different price demographic. And your rent would be very different. So your prices would have to be different. So you have to factor that in too. All right. So for example, these are the retail sizes of some of the products. So you've got our purity cleanser, our gentle cream cleanser, and it'll come in a 4 ounce, has 92 uses. It's $18.70, which comes out to be 20 cents per use. So I'm actually going to click here. And we're going to talk, I'm going to go backwards for a second. Oh no, hold on. Sorry. Okay. So in this, these are all regular retail sizes. All right. Now we're going to move on to the next slide, and that is back bar versus retail. This will save you so much money. A back bar size on this screen, they are the exact same product. One is a 4 ounce and one is a 16 ounce. One is a back bar packaging, one is a retail packaging. The retail packaging is what you sell. Your back bar packaging is what it gives to you so that you can utilize that, and your cost is completely different. So for example, I'm going to go back to the first slide. We're going to look at the Purity Cleanser, and it's 10 cents. As a back bar, it's 20 cents per use as a retail. So just know that that math is what really changes your cost per service. So if you're doing your cost per service and you're using back bar items, use the back bar charts. If you're using retail items, which is fine, then use the retail one. But I just wanted to show you the price difference of the same exact item in a back bar size and in a retail size. So when you're looking at these things and you have like, my cost per service was cut in half for that one product just for using back bar. And I will say our back bar packaging is adorable. It looks really nice on the shelf. And another thing too is, guys, if you are using back bar packaging in your room and they are taking pictures of it because they want to try to find that same type of packaging and the same thing on the internet, they're not going to be able to find it because we don't sell to anybody but you guys. So they might say, oh, I want a big one like that. We wouldn't sell it to them. So it's only sold to you guys. So they have to buy the retail from you. They don't have a choice, and they cannot come and buy it from us. We will kindly refer them back to you because they don't have a license. That is one of our things. So now whenever I'm doing my cost per service, I need to understand that time is money. Okay, so we've already talked about your cost per service. We already talked about your location and how that could matter. Your time management. Time is money. I don't mean that you need to rush your services to where people feel like they're not getting the full experience because you're rushing. I don't mean that. I mean that if they're adding on services, it costs money because your time is money. If they want another service, that adds time to your schedule, which means you are unavailable for someone else. Know your worth. Even if you just got out of school, it doesn't matter. You are no less than someone who's been licensed for 10 years. Your time is worth, it's just as valuable as everyone else's. So, but also remember that add-on services will also help you build your tickets. So if you have the time to add on these services, do it. Do it. I mean, obviously recommend what is recommended actually for their skin type and all of that. Be ethical about it. But you really need to be able to expand the horizons of every client. Sometimes they start with just a facial, and then 2 years in, they get a facial, they get a chemical peel, they get a collagen mask, they get their brows done, and like they now do multiple services. They would have never done the multiple services if you weren't offering this to them. Offer it. Every time they add something on and it's a staple for them, that means it's not just the facial with an add-on. It's a facial and the mask, and now there's an add-on of the peel. So that second thing that was an add-on becomes a standard booking out the gate already. So know that your add-on services will help you in the long run. I promise you that. It is very, very important that when you are out in the world and you are trying to make your way and you're figuring out, I need to get more clients, I need to be able to build my tickets, sell my products. It's all in one. It's all one thing. It's not that we do one and then not the other and then not the other. And we pick and choose our times to do it. We don't do that. We got to do it all at one time because it really, really matters for the cohesiveness of your business and for everything to seem and appear organized. There will be times where in your brain you are scatterbrained. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but you're still smile and safe. And that's okay. What matters is that the client's experience was seamless. So understand that your time is money, and also add-ons are a great, great thing of money. Now, the knowledge part that I have on here, this is a page from the book. We have a skincare ingredient glossary that is going to launch on our website. We have webinars that we have on our website that we've already done previously, some with LNA. Blogs that we have on there, our protocols are available for people on our website as well. If you're one of our partners, you have access to all of this information for free. This is not an extra charge. It's not anything like that. So we have downloads on there. Our staff is always available. We're available by phone, Teams, video call, Zoom call, whatever you need to do. Some people like to talk face-to-face. Some people like to talk on the phone, or we email. So we are accessible at all times. And even if you call and I'm not available, there is someone here that can help you. I promise you that. And they are happy to help you. All right. Now, our partner promise. So for our partners that we have, we make sure that you can partner for free. It costs you nothing. We have no minimums, no buy-in. We are never sold on Amazon or Walmart.com. And we only sell to licensed professionals. You guys are our people. And that's that.
In a nutshell, that's
In a nutshell.
like you didn't just give all of the knowledge. I love that. So one thing, Sarah, and I know we didn't go into a ton of detail on this, but you guys also need to know that ID Skin has a private label sector. So
yes,
there's an entire world out here that you guys can connect with Sarah directly. So if you think this was a nugget of information, just wait until you open that floodgate, because I know you've got a lot to share in that department as well.
Yeah, and for those that don't know what she's talking about is our company is called Trilogy Laboratories. ID Skin is our in-house brand. That is our line. We have that brand plus others on our in-house that if you so chose, you could pick your own packaging, your own labels with your logo on it, and we put our product inside your packaging if you would like. Or you can do custom formulations where we start from scratch and you say, I want a product just like this and I want it made. We do that as well.
Sarah, we did just get a question.
Okay.
Sonalai, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She asked if there are organic products.
Yes, so we have organic products, but they are not certified organic. So they're not the 95%, they're in the 75%. So our organic line has some really great products in there. There is a creamy exfoliating mojito cleanser that smells like vacation. And I will say, you can't tell because I have makeup on, but I have rosacea and I can use that. It's a gentle cream cleanser with jojoba esters inside of it instead of it being microplastics. And it's just enough exfoliation that it doesn't irritate and I can use it without having a problem. So most people can use it. So for your clients that are the cost-effective ones, that's your double whammy right there. They can have two products in one so they don't have to do the two.
Okay.
Amazing. I think that this level of information that you provided is incredible. And one of the things that I love is we've worked with ID Skin for a few years now, and I can definitely see an evolution in the brand as uh, they've grown to really create a lot of content to support the professional and help the professional learn not just about skin and about treatments that you offer, but about how to be a really successful business person. So I really value that. I think we got a lot of great information today. Um, and I know that everybody who is registered, whether you're attending or you registered so you get this on the replay, is going to get that 30-page guide, which is a huge resource. So thank you so much for that. I obviously am a huge proponent of retail, and I was listening to you, and I forced myself not to butt in because you were doing you were on a roll, but that one area I had to butt in and talk about, I couldn't agree more. Like, I can just see like the business savvy inside of you, and I love watching it just like unfold. Jen, did you get to that second question that just came in?
It's all from the same person. So,
Okay.
Sarah, if you don't mind just putting your contact information back
Sure.
on the screen so that they can get in touch with you, because it sounds like there's some specific questions on customizing the
Absolutely.
line. So we'll put that up there one more time so everyone can grab a screenshot of that.
Go back one page. There we go.
There we go. So grab your
Sorry.
screenshot. Any questions can go right to Sarah. And of course, give us 24 hours to get everything ready with your email replay, because that will be going right to your inbox if you registered. So this will be out, and then you guys will have access to watch that for the next 7 days and take in everything that Sarah provided you. And then it will live on the mobile app.
Yeah.
Sarah, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. Jenny,
Thank
any
you. I
final
had a great
thoughts?
time.
Right? We always have
Oh,
fun
wait.
here.
What a great way to kick off 2025, you guys. I know it's already almost the end of February. We're heading into March, getting ready for spring, but I think this was one of the best ways to kick off our educational series and get your business thriving as you kick off the year. So thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
And again, such great information. Please tell everybody, Kristen, Kim, everybody at Trilogy, that we said hello and checking in with them. But for Sarah and Jenny and myself, I just wanted to say to everyone who tuned in, thank you. We love that we have that live energy exchange during the webinar with the Q&A. It really just makes a difference. And we see everybody who's logged into the webinar, so we appreciate that. But if you're one of the nearly 200 people that registered for this webinar, just because you know that you're going to get it in your inbox 24 hours after, we love and appreciate you. But if you're one of the more than 7,500 people who have downloaded the Lip Gloss and Aftershave mobile app, knowing that you can get your education in the palm of your hand, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you guys are the smart, savvy ones out there. Keep scrolling, keep learning. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.